Hi guys! So today I'm going to be teaching you how to make henna using our DIY Henna Body Art Kit. Henna is really fun and easy to make, so let's get started. You're going to first collect all your materials. Most of the materials are already included in your henna kit. You're going to grab the bowl and the spoon that comes in the kit and the henna powder as well and pour it into the bowl. Use your spoon to start stirring it up a little bit. Once you've stirred that up nicely, we're going to go ahead and add essential oil and water. In your kit, you're going to find a bottle of essential oil. It's going to be either lavender or cajeput, and you're going to go ahead and pour the entire bottle of essential oil in there. The essential oils bring out the stain, the natural staining power of the henna. You're going to go ahead and add water a little at a time. For this recipe, we used 1/3 cup of water. So just go ahead and see what consistency works best for you, and you're going to add a little at a time until you get kind of a mashed potato consistency. Just adding a little at a time and kind of working it. And feel free to stop this video at any time, pause, rewind. I made this video in real time so that you could really work together. If it's getting a little too hard to mix, we're going to go ahead and add a little bit more water. No need to rush. This is a relaxing process. This is great to just take things slow and just breathe in. Enjoy the smell of the henna and the beautiful essential oils, and just work that paste a little. When you feel like it's gotten nice and combined, we're going to go ahead and use some cling wrap or plastic or saran wrap, whatever you have to cover it. So once this is all nice and combined, we're going to go ahead and add that. It's starting to look really good, really combined. I don't see any powder anymore. Just keep stirring. And again, if you need to fast forward this a little bit, you're welcome to do so. Almost done. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and add the cling wrap, saran wrap, or plastic, whatever you have on hand. Go ahead and use that. We're going to press it down on the sides. And we're going to put this henna away for a little while. Come back around 2 hours to 3 hours later and look at that. When you remove a little bit from the top, you're going to see the color on the bottom is a little green. That tells you that the dye has released, and that's what we need for this henna to do its magic. Now we're going to thin it out as well. So since it was a little thick and clumpy, we're going to thin it out because we want it to smoothly work its way through the cones and be easy to work with. And this is the same water that we reserved from earlier. So now we're just going to stir, 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 working it slowly, no need to rush. All part of the process, and just enjoying stirring it up. And remember, this is in real time, so if you need to fast forward a little bit, that's okay. And it's okay to make a little bit of a mess. If you get it on your fingers or anywhere, just wipe it up right away. Stirring to get it nice and thinned out. Just keep going, keep working that henna. Still looking pretty clumpy, but we're gonna get there. We're just gonna keep working it. Typically when I mix henna, I mix huge batches of henna, so I use a hand mixer, which goes a whole lot faster, but that's okay. We can use a spoon as well, and I used to use a spatula all the time. Okay, now I'm gonna start speeding up the video, but you guys keep working on it. Do you see the change in the consistency? Look at that. Smooth and silky. That shows us that it is ready. But if you feel like you want it a little bit thinner, and I like it a little bit thinner, I added 1 more tablespoon of water, which totals out to be 1/3 of a cup and 1 tablespoon. So stir, 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 keep working it. As you can see, it's a lot thinner than when we started out. Keep working it. The more we work it, the better it's gonna be. And you're seeing some air bubbles and a little bit of debris in there, but don't worry, because we're gonna clean all of that up. I'm gonna use the stocking that's in your kit to get rid of all of that debris. And it's gonna be silky smooth and just perfect. I know it feels like we've been doing this forever, but this is just part of the process. This is how we make amazing henna. No need to rush, take your time. Look at that, doesn't that look beautiful? Oh, it looks so good, I could eat it. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the next step. Go back to your box and get the rest of your supplies. You're gonna grab the stocking, grab your gloves, grab the piping bag. We're gonna put the stocking inside of the piping bag and put the piping bag inside of a cup. There's also a rubber band that you're gonna need later on, so hold on to that. Take the cup, put your piping bag inside of it, and fold it over the edges. And then you're gonna take your stocking and put it in all the way and fold it over the edge as well. And leave that rubber band for later. We don't need the gloves right now. You can open them up and put them to the side. But if you want, you can also put them on right now, and it just makes the whole process easier. So it looks like here I decided I wanted to put them on, and we're gonna go from there. Okay, you're gonna pour in all of the henna into that stocking. And just remember to enjoy the process, all of this. Just take your time. No need to rush. There you go, we got all of that. Scoop out as much as you can. Get all of that henna out. Okay. Perfect. Okay, tap tap. Clean it all out into there. Okay, let's move that bowl out of the way. And now you're gonna pull the stocking out and pull the piping bag out. Keep the stocking kind of hanging out of the bag and take it out of the cup. You're gonna hold it in one hand and kind of hold that opening tightly closed, because we're going to pull that stocking through with the other hand. You're going to have to twist around your fingers to really pull it. And as you pull it, the henna is going to come out the other end. And it is going to clean all the debris and little bits and pieces. And I'm going to show you right now what it looks like inside there. Check all of that out, the tiny little fibers and debris. All right, now if you do it, take off your gloves like this, nice and neat. Get rid of that mess. Okay, now we're ready to fill our henna cones. So in your kit, you're gonna find a couple of henna cones, somewhere between 5 and 6 henna cones. Go ahead and grab those after you tie this piping bag closed. And if you get henna on yourself, which you probably will, just keep a napkin close by and just wipe it up. Henna stains quickly, and it has a really good strong stain, so you want to wipe it up right away. So you're going to need some scissors and some tape for this next part. I'm going to cut the tip of the piping bag. Not too much, just a little off the edge. And take off these little pins out the other side of your henna cone, but don't throw them away. We're going to need them for later. So go ahead and fill that piping bag into the henna cone. And you're going to fill it up about 3/4 of the way. Don't fill it up all the way, or else it's going to pour out the edge, and you'll see that when I see how I kind of overfilled it a little bit and it came out the sides. Yeah, we want to avoid that. But if it happens, it happens. That's okay. You can always wipe it up, and you can see how it's kind of on the outside of the cone. And you see how messy that can get. But I did want to show you that it's okay if that happens. And you can just use a napkin and wipe it up. It's not a big deal. But if you can do it without making a mess, that's a bonus. You're pulling out, remember to pull out the pin every time you fill a new henna cone so that it can fill all the way to the tip. And then once you go ahead and fill all these cones up, you'll go ahead and reinsert that pin in the tip. That'll prevent the henna from squeezing out when you're taping the tops. So go ahead and fill up all your cones. Almost there. Clean up any of the mess, any henna gets around the top, because we have to tape it closed, so you want it clean. So if you did have any slip-ups, that's okay, just clean them up, and we're good to move on to the next step. Okay, you're going to go ahead and reinsert the pin on the bottom, and then grab a piece of tape, go a little long right here, and you're going to tape the top of this henna cone, the opening, in a horizontal, like that, and just hold it together, pinch, and it should tape. At this point on the top, you want to make sure there's no way for the henna to escape. And once you're satisfied, just fold that over, and then you're gonna fold the sides in. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, just try your best. It's challenging, but you're gonna get it. You're doing an amazing job. And roll it down from the top. The reason we pull it in on the sides is just to really be able to fold it better. And we roll this all up so that none of the henna can escape the top when we squeeze the cone. Just do a little squeeze test, press and see what happens. No henna's coming out, you're good. And you're going to keep doing that with each cone. Put the pin back in. Seal the top. Pinch it closed. Squeeze that henna down. Roll the top down. And in this way, it doesn't have to be exactly the same that I'm doing it right here. You can, instead of rolling the top down, you can fold in the sides first and then just kind of roll it down all the way. Whatever works for you. And for some people, they just put a rubber band at the end and just keep it closed that way and then roll the rubber band down as it goes. So you can do that as well. Whatever works for you. As long as the henna's not coming out the top, you're good. Now your henna is ready to use, so go ahead and use it if you want right away. And if you want, you can go ahead and put it in the freezer and use it another time. I also like to do a small patch test at this time to check the staining power and to also check for any allergies. So go ahead and draw a small design or make a little dot and see how it stains and see how your body likes that. And for any of the henna that you don't use, go ahead and keep that in the freezer. Your henna cones are good for up to 6 months in the freezer. Whenever you need to use them, just take them out of the freezer and thaw them on the counter for 10 to 15 minutes. And you can just warm them in the palm of your hand to speed up the thawing process. Just never put them in the microwave or in a bowl of water. Just leave them on the counter, and then you can use them and put them in the freezer again a couple times before they start losing that consistency. I'm so proud of you. You did an amazing job. You created your own henna. Give yourself a pat on the back, because that was a lot of work and you did it. You went through the whole process from start to finish, and you're creating designs now. It's gonna be a lot of work still, but you can do it. Keep practicing and you're gonna do an amazing job. Congrats.